Hello everyone, this is David, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the Milviz Cessna 310 Redux. This aircraft was sent to me to do a review on, and I do have to say I'm extremely impressed with this airplane. I purchased the original 310 quite a few years ago, and it was always a favorite flying. But this version is absolutely wonderful. The visuals on the aircraft look great. Upgraded textures, flight model, everything. I mean, it's just a really beautiful airplane. Bump mapping looks good. I mean, you can zoom in, look at the detail on the gear there, and the tire textures, and even the brakes themselves. The texture is really nice. You can actually see the air cooling vents, or not vents, but fins on the cylinders. You can see the bump mapping of the dash inside the cockpit. Just an extremely impressive airplane. So what I'm also going to be doing with this review, let's go ahead and go back inside the cockpit here. I'm also going to be doing a review of this, which is the NavStax King radio panel. So this is an optional add-on. This is kind of similar, I guess you could say, to the GTN 650 and GNS 430, etc., available from Flight 1, except this is more of an old school radio package. So if you're like me, and sometimes you want to simulate flying an aircraft, for example, like this 310, back in an era before GPS, like the 430 and 530 were available, and you want to go back to more of like the VOR, ADF style navigation, these are the radios for you. They also function very nicely. Yeah, extremely impressed with those radios. I've used them in multiple aircraft in my real world flying, and they or exactly the same, so very impressive. We'll get into talking about those, but let's talk a little bit more about this 310 while we're here in the interior. It's an absolutely beautiful interior. This is very common for Milviz to build absolutely beautiful interiors, but they've really done a nice job with this airplane. Even the little screws here that hold these plastic panels down are done. This really nice texture work, really nice 3D modeling, and one little feature that I like is, let's pop the door open here. When you pop the door open, the dome light comes on. I mean, it's not a big thing, but little things like that really make this a cool simulation. You can turn the cabin light back off. Alright, so one reason I haven't been doing many videos recently is because I went ahead and got my flight instructor ratings. So I'm a real world flight instructor now. I also have my multi-engine instructor's rating. So in future videos, what I'm going to be doing is using aircraft like the Real Air Duke, this aircraft, to kind of teach some videos, or teach on some videos about multi-engine aerodynamics, do some basic flight instruction videos, stuff like that, not only for flight sim but also for my students to look at and reference in the real world. So there'll be real world training videos made by me, available to y'all on this channel. The reason I'm going to use aircraft from Milviz and Real Air and A2A is because those are the most realistic aircraft flight dynamics wise available. I can't wait to see like a general aviation twin done by A2A with the AccuFeel. I think that would be absolutely amazing. But until we get that, like I said, this Milviz aircraft flight dynamics wise is absolutely wonderful. So let's go ahead and take it up for a quick flight, and we'll see how it handles. So they have the cold and dark startup option available from here, and that's what I'm using. Go ahead and slide over here and turn on this other fuel selector. Alright. Mags are on. Go ahead and bring the mixtures full forward. Props full forward. And we'll go ahead and get a little bit of prime that engine. Hear the primer kick on. So it has a nice startup sequence. It's not like an instant start. Go ahead and bring that left alternator on. Normally you'd wait for those to drop down, but since we're in the simulator, go ahead and hold off. And I should have started that or turned that other alternator on before startup, but my mistake. Alright, so both engines are started. Go ahead and bring our avionics master power on. And these have a really nice boot up sequence, just like you would expect on the real thing. Bring that on. We shouldn't need that today. And we'll turn our audio panel on and bring our volume up. So like when you pull out on these tests, you actually get the sound. So it's pretty cool stuff. Neat little features with that radio stack. Alright, let's make sure we got everything on we need to have on. Cowl flaps are open. Alright, should be good. Alright, let's go ahead and take off. And we will, I'm just going to let you listen to the sounds. The aircraft has a beautiful sound package on it. So I'm just going to hush up and let you listen to that. Performance-wise, FPS-wise, this airplane's great. I'm right at unlimited targeting and right at 60 for my monitor's refresh rate. Alright, coming through 1,000 feet, we can go ahead and bring our power back a little bit. And we'll set climb power at 25 square. But you can just kind of look here and see how this bump mapping in the cockpit, how the light hits it in different ways throughout the airplane. This airplane does work with dynamic reflections. I just have those turned off for not performance on this aircraft reason, but just for overall system performance. And you can see right there how the light on the yoke, on the texture part of the yoke, how it moves and changes. And this looks absolutely beautiful. The interior quality of this airplane is just great. And I'm really actually very impressed with this radio panel, radio setup. To me, it's well worth the money if you're wanting to simulate a more classic style flight. Or you're just trying to stimulate, for example, if you fly an older aircraft in real-world flight and real-world training, you may want to simulate having the radios that you would have in that airplane. Not everybody has GPS. Like I said, this is a really nice radio panel. to do that with. To me, 100% worth the money. Alright, so what I would like to do is I'm going to go ahead and just set a cruise power setting. We'll set 22 inches manifold pressure, and we'll set 2300 RPMs. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm actually using my jet throttle quadrant right now. I'm just being too lazy to set up the throttle quadrant with my prop throttle mixture setup. So I'm having to use keyboard commands to pull the props back. But just kind of talking a little bit more about that's why the prop coming back is so jittery, is just because of that. Alright, so just talking about some of the other stuff this airplane has. So it also has RXP integration, GTN 650, 750, 430, M530 integration. It also comes with the stock 530 package. All the integration options work great. They're beautifully modeled into the panel, just like these radios are. Extremely impressive. You have some really nice avionics besides this stuff. And here you have these nice engine analyzers. Just a really nice airplane. All 3D gauges, all stuff that's very common now, but a couple years ago were big things. Alright, so let's just take a quick look outside here at this airplane in the air. Oops, forgot one thing. We'll want to put our pilot in the airplane. There we go. Not quite as creepy without him. This radio panel also comes as a pop-up, so you hit ident, get that neat little thing going on there. You do have, like I said, you just have a lot of really nice stuff included with this package. Your ADF, DME, transponders, and your radios, and your audio panel. Sorry. Flight dynamics wise, this airplane flies absolutely beautifully. The props feather the way they should, and the airplane handles like it should on a single engine. And like I said, this is coming from somebody who is multi-engine rated and who is actually a multi-engine flight instructor. Like I said, the airplane handles absolutely beautifully. When you lose that engine, you lose that 80-90% part of climb performance. The 310 is a conventional twin, so you're gonna lose. If you lose your left engine, you've lost your critical engine. That makes a huge difference, and it does in the flight modeling of this airplane as well. And in one of my future videos where I go and talk about multi-engine aerodynamics, I'll explain why actually using this airplane or the Real Air Duke to explain your critical engine factors and what goes into that. But like I said, this airplane flies absolutely beautifully. It looks absolutely beautiful. The integration options has so many different panel options. I know I've seen on the forums people asking for an older style panel because like I said, not everybody has this super modern technology in their airplanes. I'll be honest with you, until I started going to the flight school that I was at, the airplanes I flew before that did not have anything nice in them, really. I mean, you had some basic GPSs. The Citation that I fly, it has some nice radios in it, but it's also, you know, a corporate jet versus a private aircraft. But these are the kind of radios you're going to see in most GA airplanes. You may start to see more 430s and 530s and lower tier airplanes as those used ones become more expensive, or inexpensive. But overall, this is really good, what you're going to see in a GA airplane. So it's really neat that NavStax has went out and made a panel that kind of caters to that. Either you want to fly an older style type flying, or you want to simulate what may really be in your aircraft, or something similar to what is in your aircraft or your training aircraft. These engine analyzers are really nice. If I had my mixtures, I would actually show you like a leaning process, but when I get like I said, when we start making those multi-engine videos, I'll hook that back up and go into that. But for right now, I'm just getting used to flying the Quality Wing 787. So I'm kind of stuck on jets here for a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and bring the airplane in for a landing, and then I will demonstrate some of the night lighting. In fact, I may just go ahead and turn some of these lights on just so I can make sure I'm able to see, and maybe we'll go ahead and just switch it over to night right now. And we'll land at night. See how they did the night lighting, or landing lights. I actually haven't landed the airplane at night yet, so I'm not sure about the landing lights. But like everything with Milviz, it's gonna look great. So all this is adjustable. You know, it's not an on or an off thing, it's completely adjustable, which is really nice. Some companies like Coronado don't even give you the option of not controlling the brightness, but not having the dome light on or off. So here you can control that independently. You can set up your night lighting independently, and also turn the de-ice light off, just see what it looks like. Alright, my landing lights on. Taxi lights are on. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna hush up and just let everybody enjoy the airplane now. Alright, everybody. As you can see, most people are going to say those landing lights are way too dim. That's really not the case. Most GA airplanes, your landing lights are about that dim. If you've ever flown them, unless you've went to like LEDs, they're extremely dim. So it's not like an airliner or something like that. They're going to be just enough to kind of light up in front of you, and they've captured that really well. I wanted to speak about one more thing. I've never flown a 310. I have flown the Cessna 340, but just talking to other pilots who've flown 310s, they are a relatively squirrely airplane handling wise, and I just wanted to say that Milviz has captured that with this airplane, in that approach there coming in is actually is working pretty hard to maintain a stable approach, just because it is a relatively squirrely airplane. And you can see there the dynamic lighting working and the landing lights hitting those buildings, so that's pretty cool. Alright folks, well that about sums it up for this review of both the Milviz Cessna 310 and the NavStax King panel. The 310 is an absolutely beautiful aircraft, flies beautifully. NavStax panel is a really cool add-on. I think it adds a lot to an aircraft like the 310. It's an older aircraft, and I hope to see this integrated into more. You can also do this as a pop-up panel, an aircraft that don't have that integration, but it is fully integratable, like the Garmin GTN GNS stuff is. So yeah, it's a great tool. They have a great tool to help you configure it into their aircraft, other aircraft. In fact, I'll just I'll tab out here and I'll show you that real quick, just so I can say I did a full review of the panel here. Okay, so you have this NavStax configuration. You can choose your simulator, choose the aircraft, and then choose the items which you want. So, like I said, this is a great piece of software. I definitely recommend its purchase. I definitely recommend the purchase of the Milviz Cessna 310. Both excellent products. Alright, I hope everyone has enjoyed this review, and I'm looking forward to doing some more videos and teaching some multi-engine aerodynamics, teaching instrument procedures, etc. Alright, thank you everybody.